Hello world, boyfriend back with another pickup video, and we got a whole bunch of stuff to show today. So let's get to it. As always, we got the usual box of goodies, but we actually have another box as well today. So which box should we start with? I'll pick. We're gonna start with this one. So, my buddy hooked me up big time, and what I'm about to show you, you wanna know how much I paid for it? Free! Free 90 free is how much I paid for this. He gave it to me, and he's awesome. Actually, it's Jackson, who you may have seen in one of the For the Win episodes. Boss Jacko, thank you for what I'm about to show. What did he give me? My first ever Atari, huh? Look at that. She's a little dirty, but in good shape. Atari 2600, for you out there who might not know what this is. My first Atari. I've never owned one, so I'm pretty excited about that. I've barely even played one in my life. It came with all the hookups. Came with 2 controllers. Actually 3, because it came with this one, which is, I believe, like a third-party controller. What is this? Point Master. Yeah, so anyway. And what's cool is you can use Sega controllers on an Atari. Haven't tried it yet. I think that's right? I'm right about that. Anyway, and then there was some games. So what games did I get with it? Well, nothing crazy, I don't think, but let's go through them. So, Combat. This, of course, is the kind of standard game that came with the Atari when you purchased it back in the day. Combat. Got a little ice hockey going on. I'm leaving it a little longer so you guys can get a better view. My favorite, actually, is Missile Command that I got. I love this game. It's really fun on the Atari, and in good shape, too, actually, yeah. Got some Pole Position, which this is a funny game to play on the Atari. Pole is a racing game on Atari. Gosh, Atari can barely turn on, let alone simulate racing. My goodness. Asteroids, which I actually already own. I got that at Portland, I think I got it at Portland, anyway. I got some Pac-Man. This is kind of a notorious game because it's not very good. It's a terrible port of the original Pac-Man arcade game. I got that, and then I got Miss Pac-Man, which I guess fares a little better. I sure like it a lot more. And those were the games I got. So, woohoo! Atari in the collection now. Brand new system. Okay. Again, thank you, Boss Jacko. Now let's get on to the normal box of goodies. You know what? Might as well just start. Since I've gotten the Atari, I kind of wanted to pick up a couple things. I found Kaboom. I love this game. Kaboom. Now, the one thing you got to know about Atari, and actually this was mentioned on the most recent, or one of the more recent Completely Unnecessary podcasts with Pat the NES Punk and Ian, but it bears repeating. The Atari is tricky because if you're going to collect for it, a lot of the games use different controllers, so you have to be aware of the games you're getting and if you need a specific controller. For instance, Kaboom, you need to use with the paddle controller. Now, when I picked up Kaboom, I was lucky enough to find, albeit third party, some paddle controllers. They actually had some first party ones, but these ones were in better condition. And they work great. You plug it in and you paddle it back and forth. It's a really fun game. I love it. I discovered it the first year I went to Portland. Really fun. And then I picked up, basically out of curiosity, Burger Time. So this is my favorite arcade game, like arcade cabinet game of like the classic arcade games. And I wanted to see how the port was for the Atari. It's okay. It's you know, it's Burger Time. You're basically running away from, instead of hot dogs, it looks like sheets of paper, which is really weird. But other than that, it looks really good. Of course, I can't play any of these games longer than 5 minutes. I can only test them, as you know, because I'm doing the Cartridge Club 1 console challenge. So I've noticed that this affects my buying habits because now I'm basically only looking for Sega and Super Nintendo to complete my Super Nintendo collection, so I'm not buying as many other systems. That being said, got the Atari, I was excited, wanted to get Kaboom, so I did. Next up, I did get another Nintendo DS game, and that is Metroid Prime Pinball. I hear it's actually pretty good. The only bummer is it did not come with the Rumble Pack, which looks like a Game Boy Advance cartridge. I will be able to pick that up down the road. They're very easy to find. I can get one off eBay if I need to. But this was really cheap. I think it was like $4 or $5, something like that. So really good condition, so I picked it up. Let's show a couple Nintendo Powers. Now, nothing special about these other than they are complete. But, and thank you, Kevin Thompson. Both of these come from the Kevin Thompson collection. And they are volumes 190 with Killer 7 on the cover and 202 with Metroid Prime Hunters, actually, for the DS on the cover. Now, what's special about these two is it signifies a bit of a milestone in my Nintendo Power collection, and that is I only have 100 issues left to get. Exactly 100. Now, I'm not counting that with my the Nintendo Fun Club. I still need 5 of those, but as far as actual Nintendo Powers, I only need 100 more. So the countdown, as Chris Roberts said on Instagram, cue the final countdown by Europe. It's the final countdown! Wow, that was out of key, out of tune, and terrible all around. Let's get to the games. So, before I get to the Super Nintendo games, of which there are plenty, I do have one Sega Genesis game to show. And this comes courtesy of Vintage Video Game Geek. And he sent me Alien Soldier. Woohoo! Now, I have not got a chance to play this. It actually doesn't work on my plug and play that I'm playing for the console challenge. So that's a bit of a bummer. And I haven't tested it yet on a Genesis, so I don't even know what to make of this game. What was this, like a PAL-only game, Japan-only game? I don't know. Have you played it? Let me know in the comments below. So thank you, Vintage Video Game Geek. He actually sent me one more game, and this will start the Super Nintendo games for this pickup, and that is Harley's Humongous Adventure. So he was just looking to get rid of this game and a few others. He asked me what I needed. This was the only one I needed of the games he was getting rid of, and so he sent it to me. So I haven't actually played it yet. So I feel bad. I should play it. I'm in the process of moving right now, so everything's kind of everywhere, and I haven't had a lot of time to play games. I'm not going to bore you with that. I will bore you with more Super Nintendo games. The second one, Jeopardy! Sports Edition. Every once in a while, there's a local shop in town that you get a punch card, and when you spend a certain dollar amount, you get a punch, and when you get the thing filled up, you get like $50 free, right? And so I needed a whopping $2 more to get the punch card, and so I found a cheap $2 game, and that was Jeopardy! Sports Edition. That's why I picked it up. Got that punch. Next. Actually, let's do this one. So it's very rare that I get a boxed game for Super Nintendo. I'm not into collecting boxed games. However, when I come across a deal, I'll pick it up. And that was Utopia. Now, this is a world-building kind of simulation type game, similar to SimCity, if you will, but it came with the box, which is actually in pretty good condition. And it had the game and the instruction manual inside, so that's cool. Didn't have the cardboard, which is a bummer, but whatever. I'll take what I can get. And the reason I got it is it cost the same price as the out-of-the-box Utopia, so why not, right? At that certain store. Okay, next up, we got The Tick. Love this cartoon. This game is mediocre at best. I like the art style. And that's The Tick. The Duel Test Drive 2. Now this is kind of an uncommon game, so if you see it, pick it up. It's a racing game, obviously. Actually, all of these are pretty much uncommon from here on out. So if you see any of these, pick them up. Pushover. Now, this is a interesting game. It's a puzzle game where you are basically doing like dominoes. Like, like you do like a row of dominoes and they all fall over. That's kind of, you're solving puzzles like with that in this. Does that make sense? I don't know. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'll admit, I could not get past the first level because I couldn't figure out how to push the first domino to start the whole chain reaction. So, but again, I can only play these for 5 minutes to test them. So there you go. This one kind of was a surprise. It's pretty good. Soldiers of Fortune. Now, best way I can describe this is, the top-down levels in Contra 3? It's kind of like that, but it's pretty fun. I played it for a little bit, and no one ever talks about this game. I thought it controlled pretty good, and I like it. I don't know. I'm kind of interested to get back to it in 2017. This is one. I thought I had this. I totally didn't have this. Super Smash TV. This is like, in my opinion, a must-have for anyone's Super Nintendo collection. Really fun game. Plays like Robotron, if you're familiar with that. Really fun though. Yeah, get that if you ever see it. Don't know much about this game. I know it's going up in price, and that is Robotrek. So this is one of those RPGs on the Super Nintendo that nobody really talks about. At least I never hear about it. But I found it for a good price, and it's in great condition. I just got to get this gunk off of it and stuff, but otherwise it's like perfect. So pick that up. One of the podcasts I listen to, I want to give them a shout out, Collector's Quest, and that is with Johnny Lucci, is that how you say your last name? And Castlevania, who is the wife of John from the Narc podcast. So anyway, but they do Johnny Lucci. Wow, that's confusing. Johnny Lucci and Castlevania do a podcast called Collector's Quest. Really fun. They just did a sports-themed episode because the Super Bowl just happened, and they were talking about rare sports games for each for all these different systems. And one of the ones they mentioned for Super Nintendo was Hurricanes. Now, this was at my local store, sitting there forever and ever and ever, and I just always put off getting it. And then they mentioned it and how hard it is to find, and I was like, crap, I better go get that. So I did. And that's why I have Hurricanes. Okay, so these next two, I recently took a trip to Las Vegas, and I went to a game store there called A Gamer's Paradise. It's actually right next door to the Pinball Hall of Fame. If you ever go to Vegas, have a chance to check it out. Check it out. It's amazing, really fun. Spent some time there. And then I made it into this store with 5 minutes till close, so I quickly scoured the store for any games that I was looking for, mainly Super Nintendo, and I came away with two. So what are they? Street Racer, which both of these are in really great condition, so good on ya, A Gamer's Paradise. Street Racer and Uncharted Waters, New Horizons. Koei! I hate those guys. I got 4 more games left, so still with me? Now, I think these next three, I believe, all came from my buddy Lewis, who you've seen in Retro Liberties videos. He works at Frank & Sons. He's got a great booth. He always hooks me up with great deals, great games, and these 3 games are no exceptions. So here we are. We have Demolition Man. So this is a game I just never, ever see. I've passed on it a couple times, but it's very rare that I see this in person, and it was just time to jump on it, bite the bullet, and get it. Of course, Lewis hooked me up with a great deal, so that was a tasty bullet to bite. The next one, this one I've never seen in real life until I got it from Lewis, and that is The Blues Brothers. It's actually kind of neat because you can play it 2-player. It's a platformer. Again, I only tested it for a couple minutes, but it was actually seemed pretty fun. Have you guys played it? Let me know. And the last Super Nintendo game for the day, also from Lewis, is shooting up in price, and that is Booger Man. So another platformer for the SNES. Hard to come by. Pick it up. Creme de la creme. We're down to the final game. And actually, like I said, That was the last Super Nintendo game, so it's not Super Nintendo. What could it be? Well, as you know, I love me some handheld systems, specifically the original Game Boy, and I found a game that I've been looking for that completes a subset. What subset is that? Why, the Castlevania series for Game Boy. There is technically 4 games, I believe, if you count Kid Dracula, which I do. But the one I was missing is this guy. Castlevania Legends. Now, I hope you can see that this is like the most perfect copy of this game I've ever seen. This game isn't necessarily known to be the greatest. I think Belmont's Revenge, which is the second one, is considered the better game. However, this is definitely the more pricier game and the more rare game at that. So that is now in the Game Boy collection, and I got one of these fancy cases. And that's it! That's all I got! Woo! Another pickup video. Done! Getting close to that 400 mark. Super Nintendo, very excited about that. Should be passing that soon. Got a few games on the way in the mail I'm excited to show you guys. And we'll see you next time. Boyfriend, out. Nope, I'm gonna go out this way.